when the pandemic happened in America, we started getting phone calls from community colleges that had foster children that actually wanted to drop out because they couldn't do the homework, they couldn't do anything remote because they didn't have a computer.
90% of teens in the United States have a device in their household. However, only 20% of foster teens have one in theirs. So Team Spirit decided to raise money for computers in hopes that this will help foster children improve their education. Our goal is to raise enough money for 4 computers for 4 foster children in the state of Texas. With your help, this is achievable. But first, we wanted to raise awareness. So we interviewed Sherry Pulliam and Michelle Brown about the struggles of foster children.
Well, the main struggle has been trying to find them a place to reside, to live. Because, like I said, we've had so many group homes and foster homes closed due to different reasons for the pandemic. They had to bring people into, their homes, like family members maybe that needed to stay with them, or they just felt like they didn't want to take the risk of another person being in their home during the pandemic and the chance of them getting COVID. So, like I said, we lost about 1,300 beds in the state of Texas. That's a lot of beds that we don't have that we had previously to be able to house children in. They do. Each child comes with their own set of needs. The rate is like for a basic level child is about $36 a day. So that might sound like a lot of money, but it's really not when you're having to feed, house, clothe, and also let that child have a normal life. If they want to be in drill team or baseball or band, all of those extracurricular activities, as you guys know, cost money. I mean, I think some families do struggle. I think if they have regular jobs, that is very helpful. But a lot of times these foster families don't have a regular job. This is their job. So they don't have another income coming in. You know what I mean? That is their income. So having to do the homeschooling, not having a really good support system. CPS was in some way, we still saw our kids and we still were checking on them, but with the pandemic, that also slowed down because we weren't going in the homes as much. We weren't taking the kids to outings because we couldn't. So I think the isolation, just like with everyone else, that was a big thing for our kids. They've had to be removed from their home because of abuse or neglect. And I mean, can you imagine, that happening to you one day, someone comes to your home and takes you from your home. And what I have found in my 21 years of experience is it doesn't matter what a parent does to their child, that parent still loves their child. And sometimes they don't know it's wrong because that's how they've lived their whole life. So we come in, disrupt their life, take them from their families because we have to, because what is being done to them is wrong, whether it be physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. We get an intake, we go and investigate. And if there are no family members that can care for these children, then they come into the foster care system. So they're placed with a family they don't know, they've never met. They're taken out of their school environment, their church environment, their friend environment, and they're put with a stranger.
One of the hardest things for foster children in the home is being separated from their siblings. After time when CPS takes children, there's a shortage of foster homes. So they have to separate the siblings, and that's really hard because they're already separated from their parents. And even if they're abused, sometimes they don't understand it and they're still attached to their own parents.
And not many people, at least in our school and actually in a lot of areas, not many people
Mhm.
are aware about foster children and their struggles. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think because a lot of, I mean, our cases are confidential for one. So we aren't out there talking about, we can't talk about specific cases and what happened to that child because it's confidential and we want to protect their privacy and their integrity. So I think, and then also I think that people see the tragic stories on the news that I report on all the time. And then they forget about, well, what happened to that child after that? You know, what happened to that child that was severely beaten and we took them out of the home? They see the story that night, I report on it, but then they go about their everyday life after that. And they don't think about, well, what happened to that child after that? You know, a lot of things happened to that child after that. They were pulled out of the only home they knew. They were put into a home with a stranger. They were, you know, brought to a new school. They were brought to, you know, a new church or a new friend group. I just don't think people think past what they see off of the original story that they hear about.